Well, the elephant in the room should be terrifying for ESPN and the college football industry. You can decide what you think and how this should play out, but it is easily the elephant in the room, and everyone, no, not everyone, some are just now paying attention. So college football, of course, is chaotic. I wouldn't even say evolving. I just think it sort of reinvents itself every other week. And the sport's biggest problem isn't how to seed the teams for the playoff, even though that's what gets the noise. It's not the biggest problem how to throw a conference champion a bone or don't throw the conference champion a bone. Again, that makes a lot of noise. We all love to talk about that stuff. It's not even the problem of pacifying the Big Ten or the SEC. That's something we talk about a lot. Everyone misses the giant elephant in the room. See, college football has a much, much bigger problem now. It's the monster. The real problem is the monster that eats everything in its way. That's the NFL. Nobody beats the NFL. It takes whatever it wants. It gobbles up whatever audience it wants, and that's the problem. Saying that the sport, college sports, hasn't noticed is pretty hard to believe because the NFL schedule release owned the news cycle, owned the talk space for at least a week, if not 10 days or so. And so if the people in college sports weren't paying attention, and I don't think fans are paying attention, I don't think fans need to pay attention until I dump this in your lap. But the USA Today just let the sports world know the NFL is like the media version of Pac-Man. It's a very smart column in the USA Today. And you can decide if you agree. You can decide if you were college football, if you would go scorched earth on the NFL. I would say that usually doesn't end well, but it's one of the options now being presented to deal with the elephant in the room. So follow this closely and see if you agree. Now, some people will say, I don't care. I'm just a college football fan. That's not my problem. You can take that position. It is the problem of college sports in a big way. College football is going to have its ratings blown away by the NFL. At least cut in half. Here you go, USA Today. The NFL isn't college football's friend. It's the greatest threat. It says we're not seeing the big picture here. We're slogging through the minutia of the college football postseason instead of dealing with the big, bad shield in the room, the NFL shield. I mean, it's a fair point. I mean, it's not often that I defend the industry of college sports. Now, as usual, they should have seen this coming. But if you say back to me, well, Jeff, so what if they saw it coming? What are they going to do? It's a good point. What are they going to do? So while college football's powers, USA Today reports, power brokers are busy arguing straight seeding, first-round buys, campus sites, and who will choose the expected 16-team college football playoff field, they're ignoring the greatest threat to the ever-evolving system that decided a national champion. The NFL's television schedule structure is in direct competition with the college football playoff. Yeah. They don't care. I mean, they just don't care. Should they care? I don't know. I guess we can argue about that. Should they have done this? I don't think they care, but if you want to argue they shouldn't have done this, okay. The question now is, what are you going to do? They just took up your space. You've got no space, and they don't care. Here you go. The structure is in direct competition with the college football playoff. Critical division matchups between the Eagles and the Washington Commanders and Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears fall on the same Saturday as the 3 first-round games. Now, the argument here is going to be, does college football find a way to fight back and say, hey, come on, man, back off? Is there some leverage the sport has to get the NFL to back off? Or do you just sort of throw up your hands and say, take whatever you want and we'll go figure out the rest? USA Today reports, if the NFL wants to keep benefiting, now follow this. It's a pretty interesting argument here. I think a lot of you are going to agree with this. If the NFL wants to keep benefiting from that free system, this can be underscored enough. Can't be underscored enough. Free. It's time to treat college football as a partner. There was a time not long ago, it's a very good point, that college football decided to play games on Thursday night. A unique idea that ESPN turned into a cult following. It's true. It was going well. Sure enough, a unique idea that ESPN turned into a cult following. The NFL saw the success and large television ratings and commandeered the night altogether. NFL Thursday night games now dwarf the college football games, so much so that college football has all but given up on big power conference games and now feeds Thursday night with a steady diet of meaningless group of 5 games. Very true. That's what happens to you. When they want your time slot, they take it. Now you've got a bigger problem. They want your playoff time slots. What are you going to do? What do you do? The point is valid. You can sit here and talk about seedings and blah, 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 and conference championships, whether they matter or not. You can do all the stuff about your playoff. But you got a giant problem now that every time slot you want, they just take it away from you. And they win. You lose. Don't tell me this stuff. Well, I'm a college football fan in the South. Okay, be that. They're going to dwarf your numbers. 2 years ago, the NFL sold Thursday night games as a standalone media rights package to Amazon and now makes $1 billion from one game. One game. Yep, there we are, deep in the process, USA Today writes, of what the new playoff format will look like, and we can't see the forest for the shield. The problem isn't the format. The problem is the NFL. The NFL hasn't offered support, hasn't reached out to say, hey, since you've given us free player development from the time our game was invented and will continue to do so, maybe we can hop off the Saturday or your first round games. There you go. Yeah, why hasn't the NFL done that? You're giving them free talent. You're training them for free. You're running a really, really nice, expensive, glorified intern program for the NFL, and they turn around and take everything that is yours. You're just now creating a new playoff. You just now found your feet, and they're taking it away from you. So follow this. Is that a fair point? Yeah, to an extent, sure. See if you agree. There are 2 ways to make the NFL move off its mark: affect its money or player procurement. Here, everyone, is where college football has leverage. The NFL wants every piece of information possible on players as it drafts, performing its due diligence to avoid multi-million-dollar mistakes on investments. So, in other words, you want data and access to players. We need you to give us back our days and times so we can have our playoff. What do you think? Because it's a real problem. Now, all of a sudden, right, the NFL is gobbling up Saturdays. The NFL gobbled up Thursdays. College football is stuck trying to find places to go where the NFL isn't. And increasingly, that's a problem because the NFL will decide on Thanksgiving we'll have double headers. On Christmas, we'll have triple headers. They'll just keep finding places to pacify their network and platform partners. So the college football playoff is scrambling to find places to play. Now, you're going to say, well, I don't care. I'll watch it at any time. But that's not what business they're in. They're in the business to generate the most eyeballs as possible. So is there a way to get the NFL to back off? The suggestion here is, you want our talent, you need to help us. So what the suggestion is, and you can decide if you think this is a pretty good idea: holding back information on players, not allowing access. You want the draft. You want to know more about them. You want all the data. You want all the access. Well, we've got some leverage here. And we would like to say we don't want to give you access to our talent, our players, until you agree to back away from gobbling up our playoff. Right? Now, I think it's nuts, and I can tell you why I think it's nuts. But it's an interesting way because it's a fair point. Sooner or later, in a sport that is driven and held hostage by money, now think about this. They need more money coming in. So they can disperse that money to the talent now that wants to get paid. The problem is you have dropping viewership. That's less money coming in. The NFL will gobble up the slots, to get more eyeballs, more access, so more money comes in. College football then pays the price, and the money is going to start to go down. That's the real risk you run. And the money goes down if you don't have viewers, right? If you don't have eyeballs. It's a very simple formula. Okay? But if the money goes down, they're in a bigger problem than they're in now, which is pretty awful by itself. So what he's suggesting is we got to get them to back off. They've got to give you back this time. They've got to give you back Thursday. They've got to give you back something. So use your players as the leverage. Okay. You can decide if you like that idea. I think you're crazy. It's a nice try. I don't know that I blame you that you're frustrated, but let me tell you what's going to happen there. Because you're not going to do it. Their coaches aren't going to do it. So the players are there. College players are where they are to get into the NFL. That's what they care about. It's all they care about, some could argue. The fact that they can make money now via handouts is nice. But the end goal for college players, the end goal for most people that want to play football from the time they're 15 or 16 is to get to the NFL. Most will not. Most of them have their head filled with the idea they're going to get to the NFL. They will not. But it's what they care about. It's what they work for. So getting paid in college is nice. The end goal is not conference championships. The end goal is not degrees. The end goal is not All-American awards or national championships. The end goal is the NFL. So if a coach, per this suggestion, if a coach or even a program said, we're going to hold information back or we're going to hold access back, we're not going to let them on campus to time you in the 40 or watch you throw or whatever. If you did that, which is the suggestion here, and some of you might like this idea to sort of get your TV slots back, but if you did that, the players would go ballistic. You're desperate for talent. The talent is ruling the sport now. If you take away what matters most to them, they're going to leave. They wouldn't tolerate that for a second. And college coaches would never go along with this. Because college coaches live now in a world where they've got to ass kiss and pay every single player. So the idea that says, hey, listen, guys, we've all decided as coaches that we really don't want to let the scouts on campus because the NFL has taken up all of our time slots. The networks are mad. That means less money for you. So until we can get them to back off, then you got to go meet them somewhere else to work out. I can't see a scenario that the coaches would do that. I can't see the players going along with that because the players are going to say, I came here to get there. I'm here to get in the NFL. Then they're going to call up some coach and say, hey, would you do this? And that coach is going to say, would you play for me if I didn't? Yes. So, it's a nice try. It's a nice try to fight the NFL. But no, you are playing with fire. You're going to lose. This big money pool that you hear about in college football, the bigger argument is pretty simple. And that is the NFL is going to take more of that because it gets bigger viewers. And you're going to have less and less of that because you don't have as good a time slots. And then the audience that you thought you might get on Saturday that might happen to watch a game is now purposely watching everything else because they play fantasy football and they gamble. You're in a game to try to take eyeballs away from the NFL that you will lose. And you'll lose badly. So threatening them, I don't think ends well at all. Because one, they're not afraid of anybody. But two, they don't care. They're going to say, that's fine, nice. We're going to put our game on at noon. You go find another place. Deal with it. That's life. So I'm not saying the college football playoff is not getting screwed. They are. And I think the argument can be made the NFL should work with college games on this, but they're not going to. They obviously aren't going to, or they would have done it already. They're just blowing through the schedule now. You can't fight them. You cannot. The networks won't let you. Right? So Amazon is not going to go, I'm sorry, the colleges want Thursday night back? No. How about I pay $1 billion, I get what I want, and you're playing on Thursday night. Who cares if Texas Tech and Baylor want to play? That doesn't help my business. So I think this is impossible. I do. I think it's a bigger deal than people realize now. And I think they ought to be terrified of it. I just don't think they know what to do, and I'm not sure they have very many options. So I would say this, and you're going to hear this more than once, maybe not this year, but as the NFL keeps tackling this stuff, I think you're going to hear this more often. And it's kicked around in media all the time. And that is, one, go to a pay model. Go through a streamer like a Netflix or someone like that. It's going to be mentioned again. It's if it hasn't already, it's usually because these people in college sports don't know enough about the TV business or the media business. But sooner or later, someone's going to make the suggestion, look, guys, why don't we play when we want, where we want, and we stream it? And the people who want to watch the games are going to pay because we're going to lose the others anyway. It's going to be mentioned. I don't know if it works, but it's a partial solution. You're going to get killed on viewership. Right? These games are going to get later and later at night. The other option is just move your games around, play later, play earlier, start off. What I think you got to do is start off your playoff sooner. Waiting around to start your playoff is idiotic. It's a mistake on a number of levels, including the way the teams play. But you're either going to have to go to a pay-per-view model or you're going to have to just move around and live life with the NFL. Your playoffs should start the week after Thanksgiving. Just get it going. So you're going to hear more about this. It won't come up. Well, yeah, it'll come up start hearing about it in November and December. And then they're going to start freaking out and saying, wait a minute, the numbers are down 40%. The networks are then going to say, if those numbers are down 40%, we pay you 40% less. The schools will then justifiably panic because they can't live on less. Most of them are going to struggle anyway. So how do you fix that? How do you fix it? I mean, when the USA Today says your problem is not figuring out how many teams should be in the playoff, your problem isn't who should be picking the playoff. Your problem is you've got somebody, this Pac-Man machine, that has gobbled up all your time, and you're not going to be able to be seen. And that's true. Fair or unfair, that's just true. May feel cool to say NFL will fight you, but you'll lose that fight. You already are. They may have said it privately and said, hey, come on, guys, don't take those nights. Stop it. That's our first round of playoffs. We just made this neat thing. The NFL said, shut your face and get out of the way. We own the media space. Goodbye.